Hey everybody, it's Jeannie at Richland Sewing Center on Thursday, and we are enjoying a very wet day here in Texas. It has been thunderstorming, and then occasionally the sun will come out just for a little bit, and then right now it's just really cloudy and kind of sprinkling out there. We do have Quilt Club tonight, so I'm hoping some people will brave the wet weather, or maybe it'll be cleared up by then. We have Quilt Club this evening at 6 and then tomorrow at 1. So tune in. I do tomorrow's live from Quilt Club, usually while they're doing show and tell. I'm going to show you just a couple different things and talk about a couple classes that are still coming up also. I got this out the other day. I don't know if you can see it. It says the Grim Ripper. Can you see it? It's a little applique project that I did. And I passed out patterns for this, and I don't know where they are right now, but if anybody would like this pattern, the Ripper even has a little red ball there, which a lot of the Rippers do. And for those that don't know it, you know, there's a little, you can put that on a seam and just kind of slide it right down. And as long as you have that little red ball in the right place, and it's always a red ball, I know you're acting silly, but this was a fun project to make, so that was fun. And then I had some people asking me about this project. Several years ago, Pioneer Woman came out with a placemat that looked like this. It's plain on one side, or well, it's a print, and then pieced on the other side, and it's quilted. And we did a class to make a zipper pouch. It was so cute. We embroidered people's names on them. I can't tell how many people that are watching right now probably have that zipper pouch somewhere. Well, then I made this one, and it just sits on the table up here. And the second fabric that's on here is a napkin. This is a Pioneer Woman napkin. See, it matches that. And the directions for this are still on the website. If you Google Pioneer Woman Placemat Project Pouch, that's the name of it. And it doesn't have any printed directions available. It's only a YouTube video. But if you're interested in doing that, and then this turns into a drawstring pouch, and then you just turn down the top when you're using it. It does have a pocket inside. And I mean, we added some things to it, and of course embroidery. And all of these sections are pockets around the outside. It's really a neat pouch. So if anybody's interested in that, I don't know if Walmart has these anymore. They have a couple other flowered designs and things from Pioneer Woman, but if anybody can find these somewhere, these are the cutest because it really works out really well. So I wanted to remind you about that. I also want to remind you about the 60-degree runner class, which is this one. I think most of you have seen this about 8,000 times, probably because this is my favorite project. This class is Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, if that's when you want to come. So I would love to have some of you get signed up for that. It takes about 2.5 yards of fabric to do the top, and you will completely finish the top during class. Okay, so that's Tuesday. And then Tuesday morning is the Flying Geese class. And these are flying geese. These happen to be turned down flying geese. They have a little bit of a different look to them. These are dimensional flying geese. I can stick my fingers under there. These are 2-color, actually 3-color flying geese. This is a tricky little thing I did just to show how you can kind of have fun with them. And then I've got a runner over here that I'm going to show you. Let me get that. I know I'm disappearing. This is a whole runner done with flying geese, kind of done in a curve, because geese don't necessarily fly in a straight line. I think flying geese are fun. We will be using several different techniques for making flying geese, and a couple different rulers that I will have here that you are welcome to use. And flying geese, for those that aren't sure, are contained in so many quilt patterns. Half square triangles and flying geese are kind of the backbone of quilts. So we really want you to make sure you get those made the best way that you possibly can. So I think it would be fun. So we need some folks to get signed up for that. And then I want to talk to you about, this is going to sound silly, this seam right here. All this is a 4-patch. But when you press the seams on a 4-patch, normally when we do piecing, we press the seams toward the darker fabric, if that's possible. If we can do it this way, this is real flat in the middle, So if you can get your seams that are 4 pieces to do this, it's wonderful. So when you make seams like that, you're going to start by sewing 2 squares together and 2 squares together. And then you may add more after that too. That's okay too. And then you sew those 2 units together, which I've done here. So see, these are sewn together. And the seams were pressed toward the darker fabric on this unit. So this is one that has been stitched and just not pressed or anything. And notice I've got little arrows drawn on there. That's telling me which way to push the seams. Because in order to do that neat little thing that looks like this, you have to make sure all 4 of the seams are going in a circular kind of direction. I know that probably makes no sense. I had a learn to quilt class the other night, and we were trying to explain this, and we could show them better than we could talk to them about it, but you need to push them that way. So on this one, you're going to notice this seam's going that way, then this one's going that way, this one's going this way, and this one's going this way. So when you get ready to press those, you end up with this cute little 4 patch right in the middle. It works out just great. I did some squares of the quilt I've been working on yesterday. These are just little 4 patches. And there again, notice I pushed the seams all kind of into a circle. And when you do that, it'll open up to that neat little 4 patch. And that's what, this is the large economy size one, so you can see it. It's so nice because you don't have that bulky thing. And sometimes you're wondering, which way do I need to press these these seams? So hopefully that'll give you an idea. We did 9 patches in our Learn to Quilt class. And out of all the seams in there, because there's more than just one, they could get this done on most of them. But you can't always get it done because of the direction you push the seam before that. Then sometimes you can't get it done. But if you can, and if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just stop by and I will be happy to show you, because it's more effective if I actually do it. So I'm going to ask you all a question. I've got my quilt hanging on the wall. It's pieced, appliqued, and in one piece. And I have to admit, I made 4 or 5 big rows and then sewed the big rows together. And the second big row that I sewed onto the quilt, upside down. I'm like, are you kidding me? I sewed it. I brought it to the iron. I pressed the seam the way I wanted it. I laid it on the floor so I could look at it. And I'm not going to tell you what I said. I really didn't say anything that bad, but I'm like, are you kidding me? The gingerbread and everybody was just upside down. It just wasn't working at all. And it took me a long time to rip that seam out, because first of all, I had to press it in the same position I'd stitched it again, because I had already pressed it open. And so I pressed it flat again and then used a ripper, and it took a long time. The ripper wasn't particularly sharp. I think I need another one. But it took me quite a while to get that seam out, because we shorten the stitch length to 2 when we do piecing, because it's better for quilting, because it makes that stitch a little bit tighter, and we don't do much back stitching when we're doing piecing. So that's another reason that we do that. So I got it all out, pressed everything flat again to make sure those sides were flat, pressed it together, sewed it back together in the right position, and I must have double checked myself 10 times before I actually sewed it, because I thought, you know, I thought I had it right the first time. I kept laying it on the floor and making sure. So I'm going to show it to you in a minute. It's in one piece, which is about the same as it looked yesterday, only it was just pinned on the wall yesterday. This is one of the units that is supposed to be the border around the quilt that I'm going to show you. You're supposed to do them like this. So see how those 2 green things are at the bottom that match, and then up here. And you're supposed to do a whole bunch of these. I put these up against the quilt, and I didn't really like it. This is the picture that it shows on the pattern, is to put these all the way around the quilt. But I just wasn't happy with it. So then I started playing with some other things, and I've got a couple samples of kind of, it's called a ribbon technique around the outside of the quilt. Now, it's not really ready. I'm going to turn this around and walk over here. And here's my quilt on the wall, and there are 2 samples up above. Now, between the quilt, so pretend that you're looking at those gingerbread cookies, there'll be a band of the background color, which is kind of an off-white with a little bit of gray, around the outside of the quilt first. and then the border. So this is half square triangles sewn together, and this is quarter square triangles sewn together, which kind of gives, if you look at that light green, it kind of goes up and down and up and down. So that's one, and this is the other. I want your opinion. What do you think? I'm just not happy with that other design, you know, and I know that probably sounds silly. So I'm going to turn this back around and get me out of your face. So I just like an opinion, if you don't mind giving it to me. I decided to kind of take a break and work on a few other things. So I'm not going to go any farther. I have been working on this quilt for so long, and I love it. I really do. And thank you for those that made the compliment yesterday. And I thought the spin yesterday was fun. It was so neat to have that many people make a comment. So that was really fun. And some of the people that won the prizes sent a thank you. So that was really fun too. And I will try and do spins every week or so, maybe every 2 weeks. I have to be a little careful because it does cost. The things that we give away, and I hope you all know this, the things that we give away for door prizes are things that we carry in the store, and so we have to pay for those before we do that. So I can't get real and give away too many big things, but I hope everybody enjoyed what they got yesterday. So I want you to take a look at your schedule. Monday evening is my Learn to Quilt class. Tuesday morning is the Flying Geese workshop. Tuesday evening is the 60-degree runner. And then Wednesday evening is the clutch that Ain is doing. It's the embroidered clutch. So make sure you take a look at that. And we've got other classes, you know, later in the week too. So we really want to get you in here if we possibly can. Okay? If you have any questions about anything, I'll be happy to share how to do the press seam that I was talking about, because for those of you that do any kind of piecing, I think you'll really enjoy it if you learn how to do that real well. Okay? Are we good? Okay, hopefully I'll see you at 2 o'clock tomorrow during Show and Tell for Quilt Club. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Bye.